therefore, it's a great joy for me to welcome you to the MSME Finance Symposium, the much sought after event for Business Month. This symposium is a natural offshoot from the vision that our CARICOM heads had 30 years ago, back in 1988, when they proclaimed that year the year of small business. We want you to be empowered to be able to decide for yourself what is right for you and have the confidence to take the required action to build your respective businesses.
Okay, so what we will attempt to do this morning is to highlight several different elements. The first is the importance of SMEs, the challenges and opportunities, focus areas for banks, SME products and services, the changing role of banks, account maintenance 101, business loan requirements, avoiding the trap, and looking to the future. So finance is a critical issue facing the SME sector. You see, when it comes to lending, the risk posed by an SME client is actually greater than the risk posed, let's say, from somebody who works for government or another private company. One of the main risks involved, for instance, when you have to assess a business loan, no matter how small it is, there are several different factors you must take into account. For instance, who are their competitors? Will their products, is the product, is it competitive? Will it last for a couple of years? Will the standard or the consistency be the same? So there are several risks associated with SME. As opposed to, let's say, if you work with government, you have been there for the last 10 years, all a bank will do is, let's say, give you a loan and then just assign your salary. So the bank knows that at the end of the day, that money will come to pay the loan. Customers may say that, the banks do not really cater for SMEs. But it has to do with the relationship you have with the bank.
Now we look at financial management. Okay, financial management is the heart of running a successful business. We all know that, you business persons. It affects every aspect from managing cash flow and tracking business performance to developing plans that ensure that you business owners can make the most of your opportunities. Now, and financial management is a vital activity in any organization. It is the process of planning, organizing, controlling, and monitoring financial resources with a view to achieving your organizational goals. Okay, and as business owners, it is important that you all learn to invest your funds wisely. As we all know, I'm sure everyone is doing that, to grow your business, increase profits, etc. On the basis of effective financial planning, you can think of successful retirement. Successful retirement. We are not, well, that's past my time, but you are not too young to start planning for retirement. Before you wink your eyes, business owners, it will be on you. What would be your plans? A lot depends on how you plan from now. As your business grows, so must you grow personally.
The Climate Adaptation Financing Facility is a component of the Disaster Vulnerability Project. This is a project that's been funded by the World Bank, and the CAF is funded by a loan to the SLDB. So the SLDB is the implementing agency for the CAF project, the CAF funds. What will the CAF do? The CAF will provide accessible loans to households, firms, community groups for investments in livelihood activities that support climate adaptation and resilience building. So the lending terms and conditions for the CAF, loans are available to the three main sectors: agricultural sector, the housing sector, and the tourism and manufacturing and services sector. These loan packages were developed based on surveys conducted by the Ministry of Statistics, Department of Statistics, and they interviewed households, the business sector. They also looked at the structural integrity of houses around the island, especially in the vulnerable areas, to determine what type of to determine the structure of the loan and the terms and conditions of the loan. So the lending terms under the CAF for the various sectors under agriculture, the lowest amount you can get to undertake climate adaptation activities is $2,700, and the maximum is $100,000. The interest rate on these loans is 5.5% to 7.5%. So as I said, it's based because of the type of sector, the agricultural sector. They have a higher interest rate because of the level of risk that's involved. In terms of the households, the lowest amount we finance is $2,700 up to a maximum of $100,000. The term on that is 4.5%, up to 6.5%. So I'm sure you would have heard some ads in the media regarding the climate adaptation financing facility. Have you heard that? Yes. Okay. So we would like the business sector to be informed to take advantage of the facility that's available to improve their business, to make the business more resilient to the impacts of climate change. The manufacturing sector, lowest amount finance is $2,700 up to a maximum of $150,000. The term on that is 4.5% up to 6.5%. Maximum term under the manufacturing is 10 years for repayment. Maximum term under the housing is 7.5 years for repayment, and under agriculture is 10 years.
One of the questions is, in terms of social transformation, productive lending. Persons actually, what we call the entrepreneur, how do we go about assisting entrepreneurs? That, in some instances, is a maltet, okay? A maltet, in terms of when you listen to the statistics, they tell us most 80%, as high as 80% of small businesses fold within 2 to 3 years. Dismal. We at Library Credit Union and we in the credit union movement, we say that members come first. It is our responsibility to draw out from economics, marketing, finance, to chores, to come up with a modality by which we can assist that member who is an entrepreneur. And the only way we can become good at it is by doing it. Okay? It is like having bad debts. Mr. Stevens, the more bad debts you have on your books, the more loans you have to give. Because actually you need revenue to write the bad debts again. So then you have bad debts, yes, all of a sudden you go in a cocoon and you become conservative. No, the only way you actually get it done is by doing it and learning. So the question of financing businesses at Library, we're different. After coming years of trial and error, I came up with a matrix. Yes, the come is not an English word. I say, look at Mr. Come. Is that Latin? Is that no? It means after several years of trial and error, we came up with a matrix. I developed it, I actually shared it with some other institutions. It's actually, I'm ready over 60 points. And let me tell you what is interesting about the matrix. Collateral is actually 2 marks out of 60. Collateral is 2 marks out of 60. I came close to giving it 0. We don't want the maltet of having to go to court, even in an era where the process of foreclosure in St. Lucia is so hurtful, if I can get another word. So the emphasis has to be on ability to pay. There are 2 phrases I like. In fact, it is a phrase. I can't recall who the author is, but that guy said, when skill and passion combines, a masterpiece ensues. When skill and passion combine, a masterpiece is that is the resultant effect. So when somebody comes to me and says, Mr. Elvick, I would like to start a business, whatever it is, I listen to him. First I try to test what does he know what he's talking about. Okay, probably tell, yes, I did some accounts, I did it, then I know, okay. You know, the next test is what? The passion. Does he have that passion? Is he willing to spend that 10,000 hours to make that business successful? And no second chances. I listen to my mind. If my mind tell me no, it's no. End of story. Yes. I've been around, Mr. Stevens. Oh, yes, I have been around. So in my mind, tell me, I may be wrong, I may be right, I don't care. I am the custodian of the funds of Library Credit Union. And you know what? We have been right more often than not. And when we talk about agriculture, and agriculture is deemed to be risky, I beg to differ. I beg, I differ. I beg, I differ. At Library Credit Union, we have, I think, 18 classes of loans in the portfolio. Our loans portfolio presently is how much? $143 million. Okay, that's the total value of our loans. Agribusiness forms 8% of that portfolio. And every year when I run I have a weighted average mechanism for determining the yield of each of the classes of year. Agribusiness, third, fourth. But then, being a community-based cooperative, it's a little different, truth be told, from, let us say, our other financial service providers. I get intimately involved with every business we finance. I don't believe in business plans. I have never seen a business plan that didn't say that it's going to make millions of dollars in profit. I've never seen one. You think I like Stevens? No, I've never seen any business plan that says that even a loss in the first 2 years, which is ordinary, which is reasonable, expect, okay, you make a loss in the first 2 years. You can't make $1 million. So that I am going to be duped, no. So, but however, some elements of planning is necessary. Okay, you can come and tell me when I ask you a few questions, you started to beg here for me. So no, you have to sell a business proposal to me. You have to sell a business idea to me. So there has to be some kind of thought processes. You need some kind of planning, some kind of yes.